Welcome once again to The Sage. Thank you for being with us. I have a great deal of pleasure in sharing one of our key activities this year with you. If you remember a few weeks ago, we reported our program for 2024. We talked about the whole concept behind the Entrepreneurship Fellowship Program in particular. We described the various elements of that program to you, and we talked about the major milestones. We promised to keep you updated. This particular, let me call it a documentary, an episode, is indeed a fulfillment of that promise. We are delighted to say that we were actually able to very, very successfully conduct and conclude the first capacity building workshop in the program. If you remember, as we had given you an update earlier, we had talked about the fact that suddenly and most unfortunately this year, we lost our major funding for the program. When we were shocked and suddenly informed of their inability to continue to fund by Seplat Energy. It was a sobering moment, a moment when we wondered whether we could continue. We continued. We had the courage. We still believed so much in the program that we were convinced that no way, in the wider scheme of things, could it be right to stop the program. And so with courage and faith, we continued. And so we're particularly triumphant and happy to be able to say that so far, it's proceeding right on course. And this capacity building workshop we're sharing is indeed evidence of that. So what is the capacity building workshop? Again, we go back to the premise on which the whole program is based. What is the premise? The premise is that if you select a group, a core group of knowledgeable, passionate, enthusiastic young people who really want to be entrepreneurs, and you support them in a sustained and effective manner, that they will become successful young entrepreneurs. They will form the bedrock, the backbone, someday in their numbers of the economy of this country. And so over the past 6 years, we have tried out this program, and we have ample proof of concept. The trainings are carefully sculptured. Very important is the concept of a good, sound knowledge of business management. Business is something you need to acquire knowledge about how to do it before you do it. It's not just all about passion and working hard. It's about knowing a business has to be structured and has to be managed effectively. And so many of our trainings for these fellows that we take on for 1 year also involve business management. And all of that is contained within that capacity building workshop. So business management. But in addition to that are 3 other important elements. One is the fact that we help the young person rediscover themselves and recognize their own worth. We help them to realize what has always been there, that they're well put together, that they're capable of doing it. that the only thing between them and success is not their ability, but hard work, persistence, and God's guidance. We teach them, we work with them to understand the concept of what we call social entrepreneurship. That universal concept of that when you give, you receive. It is only in giving that we receive. And so as we reach out to them and we support them and give them without asking for anything back, we help them to accept and understand the concept of the fact that they have to be social entrepreneurs. Young people, dedicated, hardworking, who recognize their debt to their families, their communities, their country, and indeed the world. We're proud that we work at producing social entrepreneurs. And last but not the least, in terms of the concept of the workshop, is the fact that we begin to build them into a network of similar-minded young entrepreneurs, a network that can call on each other, a network that mutually support and reinforce each other. And so those are the major principles for the capacity building workshop. We have 2 within the program, and we lecture and tutor along the lines of these major concepts. And so I move on to the next element of this documentary, which is the actual workshop itself, which started with a beautiful, beautiful opening ceremony. The opening ceremony itself is important. We succeeded in bringing together very important elders and statesmen who came in fact, they outnumbered the fellows themselves to show the fellows their importance, to share their words of wisdom with the fellows. It was a memorable ceremony. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Let's show you snippets of it. This year, I don't know whether I need to say what the program is about. It's essentially picking what we see as potentially clever, intelligent, hardworking, passionate young people who are serious about setting their businesses and becoming tomorrow's entrepreneurial giants. When you grow and make your businesses solid and sustainable and profitable, you grow not just yourself and your communities, you grow the nation.
Medium-scale and small-scale enterprises form the economy of any country. They provide jobs, they provide food, they provide income. And that is what drove us in this vision. And I am very humbly proud to say that within the 6 years, we have worked with you to establish, by the time your set is complete, well over 100 businesses. It's been a tough journey. It's never been easy. Many, many years we have thought it may not be done, that we will not have the fund to see it through. But we have so far survived.
We've been very, very happy with what C4C is doing. In fact, when Dr. Kate told me about this, when she came back from the US, from her work, I told her, you people that stay abroad so much, you lose sight. In this country, you won't make it. She says she doesn't care, but that she has always thought about this. That's why she came back, because she could have stayed on in the US. All her family is there. Her children are there. But she came back. She's here alone, trying to help young people the way she sees it. And I must confess that we've all been very, very impressed by the work so far. This is the 6th batch of entrepreneurs, and it's been success from beginning to now.
Let me begin by thanking God for making this possible, in spite of the challenges that Dr. Ogwagu is facing. She has decided to go ahead, and I'm already seeing that God is pushing her to go ahead, and God doesn't send you on an assignment without the resources you need to see through it.
I want to commend Kechi. She's tenacious. She never gives up, no matter what. And I think those of us who have enjoyed the best of this country, and I can tell you, I enjoy the best of this country. I think all we can do is to encourage people like Kechi who are brave to embark on such programs, to mentor young people like you. Not just mentor, she also monitors your progress. And that's unquantifiable. And so I want, first of all, to congratulate all the fellows.
We are giving testimonies about those who have been here and all they have been able to do. And now you are here to be groomed to do as they are doing or even better. Chances are that as you are seated there, you are asking yourself, will I be able to do what these people are doing? I hope I will be able to measure up. I hope I will be able to do my best. I hope I will have the resources I need to do better than all these reports. But the truth is, the one who succeeds is the one who dares.
Because as long as this initiative helps many young people to stand on their feet and to engage more young people, then crime will reduce. This kind of initiative helps the sustainability of our country, Nigeria. I meet a lot of young people who think that their future is to japa. I say, yes, a few people, maybe 5% of Nigerians can japa. How many people can really japa? Maybe 5 million maximum. 5 million. That leaves us with 215 million people. What do we do about them? So whenever I am in a circle of young people, and especially young, endowed, elite young people who think that the only solution to this Nigerian problematic is to run away. I said, but how many people do you think can japa? John Paul II, who brought out that idea that we are each responsible for all, meaning that each one of us is responsible for the collective. We have a responsibility. I know that I have a responsibility for the 220 million Nigerians. I have a responsibility. And I'm struggling to do what I can for the benefit of the 220 million Nigerians. And that each one of us has a responsibility for the 220 million Nigerians. Our responsibility is not just for ourselves. If it was just for ourselves, from that point of view, the people who think that japa is their only solution, yeah, they can solve their own individual problem by japaing, those who can. But what about the rest? How happy am I to know that I'm only able to take care of myself? Now, what entrepreneurship does is that entrepreneurship helps to take care of me and all the people that I will employ.
It is so difficult to start an NGO on your own. Very, very difficult. You will put in everything, arm and legs, before you start getting support. But we as Club 12, we provide as much support as we can give, individually or as a club. That's the promise we are making you. Now, coming to the training that she's giving you, it is a golden opportunity. There are a lot of businesses. You know, I see the small-scale businesses. You see the person is working so hard, working hard and having a lot of customers and a lot of dissatisfied customers because targets are not met. The shop is in disarray. You come to look for something, they are busy searching for what you dropped. And there'll be people owing them. Like I see some dressmakers, their shops are full of clothes that have been made. Nobody is collecting. And they don't even know what to do with it because they did not package their product properly. You know. So Dr. Kechi is laying a strong foundation for you. Structure. You know, I have seen what they have done before, improving your logos, making you have a good pitch so that you can reach your customers and that you can deliver and that you can have a bankable product.
Most businesses are closing up now. Private sector accounts for most of the employment opportunities we have in Nigeria, and most of them are closing up. The international ones are also leaving the country. So addressing youth unemployment should be a major concern of the government and private sector. And this requires a comprehensive approach that focuses on creating more job opportunities, whilst equipping young people with relevant skills needed in today's competitive job market. It calls for targeted government interventions that prioritize investments in education, vocational training programs, and entrepreneurship support initiatives like Conversations for Change. So this, this is sort of one man doing the government's job, if you understand what I mean.
In reality of Nigeria of today, see yourself as a privileged person. How many people will get this opportunity?
The seed that is being sown now, those of you who are entering different businesses now, it means that we can't even imagine where, with God's grace, it will be in 50 years, in 100 years' time. We can't even imagine it. And so, all we do is to congratulate the management of C4C and congratulate the 20 of you and others who belong to this network. And with collaboration in this kind of network, why can't we be where South Korea is today? Why can't we be where Singapore is today? May God grant us good leadership. May we get to a point where government in Nigeria be a source of support for businesses rather than an obstacle.
Amen. As long as you build your country on falsehood, false, and you are hoping that it will be right, and you continue on falsehood, it is the foundation of falsehood that you reap.
A lot of things have been said, but let me just share a bit of my experience with C4C. C4C has been a support system, and like I always say, when you look at the caliber of parents we have on the high table, you can't afford to fail. So when the going gets tough, one of the things that keeps me going is, I remember, how do I explain myself to mommy to say something that happened, one thing that happened, and I gave up. So they are an amazing support system. And then we also have a group of alumni, people that have been through what you are going through or about to go through. So we have a support system already built. So you are not alone. That's why I say you're in the right place. There are people who are doing what you're doing. There are people who are going through the same challenges you're going through, and they are succeeding.
We build you into a network. You will be joining the rest of the C4C entrepreneurs. We keep together. Our relationship is lifelong. But we also teach you a sense of social responsibility. When you give, you will receive. That is the promise of our Creator. It is in giving that you receive. Yes, it was a truly memorable opening ceremony, one that gave respect to young people that deserved that respect. There's still a lot more to tell. Make sure you stay with us next week as we continue on this story of our first capacity building workshop. Thank you for having been with us. See you next week.